Hey, and welcome to the Inclusive Networker podcast, where we make network marketers, small business owners, and solopreneurs aware of blind spots that could be keeping their networks and businesses small. We give them tips and simple, practical tools to make their businesses more inclusive, and we teach our listeners how to build inclusive communities that support diverse customers, team members, and business partners. So, if you want to authentically build relationships with diverse communities of customers or business partners, you are in the right place. But be warned, you will be challenged, but here's the thing, you won't be judged. I'm your host, Dr. Raymona. I'm a speaker, coach, consultant, public health professor, wife, mom, and a fierce challenger of broken systems that keep people from reaching their highest potential. I'm so excited to be with you on your journey to becoming an inclusive networker. Let's jump right in. I am Dr. Raymona, your host, and I'm honored today to have Jerusher Wiggins as my guest. So let me tell you about Miss Jerusher Wiggins. She is a motivational speaker, a radio personality, and a business coach. Jerusher Wiggins worked for CNN News in Atlanta prior to starting a home-based business. She earned her degrees in communication and public relations and is on-air personality for CWRnetwork.org, a global international radio station. She is most recognized for inspiring thousands on social media through her online presence, her seminars, her courses, and on-stage events. She has appeared on numerous lives, Zooms, YouTubes, and podcasts as a special guest speaker. She is a top 2% leader in direct sales and has earned countless awards, cars, crowns, diamonds, on-stage recognition, and is ranked #1 for developing the most women entrepreneurs in 1 year. She has coached several women to top leadership roles, and I will tell you that I am absolutely obsessed with her social media. I am obsessed with everything Miss Jerusher Wiggins. She is amazing, so I am so excited to have you, Jerusher, on this episode of the Inclusive Networker. So welcome!
Thank you so much. I am so honored to be here. Thank you, Raymona. This is such a privilege, and so I don't take it lightly, and so I am in the company of greatness, so I appreciate you.
Oh, thank you. So why don't we just jump right in? So the first thing that I want to ask you is just tell us a little bit about your business and the main problem you solve for your customers and clients.
Okay, so yes, first of all, hello, pretty people.
I love it.
Yeah, so all the pretty people, you're my friends, family, followers. And so what that means, if you're a pretty person, we celebrate, collaborate, and create great relationships. So if you are a pretty person, if that's you, hashtag pretty people. And so I'm excited to have you obviously be a part of that community. And so I wanted to make sure that I answered your question because there's a lot happening right now in social media. And so what I do is I help people build their businesses online and offline. So I create what I call double threats. And so if you want to be a double threat, hashtag double threats. And so I help you really leverage and monetize social media. And so most people, they only post. And we want to make sure you're posting for a profit, actually not just posting, and praying. And that's what most people do. They post and pray. And so we want to eliminate that and teach you how to attract your ideal prospect. So who are you posting to? What does your, ideal client need? We're in the business of solving problems. And so I call myself a problem solver. And so that is what I do online. I help people build their businesses and get the, viewership that they need. And not only that, actually converting their content to money, obviously, or clients or services. And so that's what I do.
Yes, love it. And so all the things that I've read in your amazing bio, Jerusher, I know that you have built teams, you have built amazing networks of people. You have, helped the most women leaders in a year in your company and all of these different things that you've done. And so what do you think are the top 3 characteristics of an inclusive networker? So when you're thinking about building these big networks and the inclusive networker, what do you think are the top 3 characteristics?
One, obviously, for me, I just believe that first of all, you've got to make sure that you are thinking about the peoples. Okay? Very important that everything that you put out is how am I serving other people? And so the characteristic has to be a servant leader. You got to understand that as long as you are thinking, see the people, see the people, see the people. What is my solution? What can I offer? You're going to build a big audience. The second thing I can say is you got to have passion about whatever it is that you're doing. If your passion is, helping moms and build a business from home, or if your passion is you're a dog lover, it doesn't matter. You have to actually love what you're doing so it doesn't feel like work. So I absolutely love motivating and inspiring and teaching. And so when I show up online and I get ready to start, training and motivating, I love what I'm doing. So you got to have a passion for it. And I would say the third thing in characteristics is really pretty much I've already said it, is you got to understand people. And so you got to have the need to understand where they are and accept them for where they are. And if they want to be pushed, you can push them forward to success. But if they don't and they love where they are, you just need to embrace that and move forward. Yes.
Love that, because I always say my PhD in people was much harder to earn than any PhD or doctoral degree in public health or anything like that. And so I am always trying to think through, how do you figure out people and the things that you need to do to ensure that they are, comfortable in your space and that you're including everyone, because everybody doesn't want to be at the top of things and things like that. And so what you just said is so crucial when you're thinking about building a team, is that where does that person really want to be, right? And so I love that. And so when you think about this, then what is one of the problems or the challenges that you see that people have faced when growing, either what you faced with growing your own network, or the challenges that you've seen other people face when they're trying to grow an inclusive network? And how do you solve it?
What did I face? Okay, so first, when I got online, so I've just got online 2019, seriously. I had an account, but I really started understanding what's attraction marketing and why am I here? So you're posting with purpose. So your content should, obviously represent who you are. It should be around your niche, whatever that looks like. So one of the things that I see most people, what I didn't do in the beginning was I was like, I'm not getting any followers. I'm not getting people to like my stuff or share my stuff or engage with my stuff. And then I realized, social media is meant to be social. I need to do it. So the moment I realized I need to go love on people's pages, I call it loving on pages, when you're liking and commenting on other people's stuff. And so I realized the more people that I was going to their pages and showing some love, then the algorithm changed where those people were now seeing my stuff. It's called the law of reciprocity. They're like, oh, that was the person that's loving on me. Oh, that's her. I need to love back on her. And so the moment I figured that out, I was like, I got it. Social media is meant to be social. And most people go to social media to get as opposed to giving. And so I just started giving out the love on the stories, on everything. So it's like going to the bank. You got to make a deposit before you get a withdrawal. Social media is the same. You got to make sure you're depositing before you can get a withdrawal. Before you can actually earn anything, you got to give first. So you're throwing in a lot of value. And so that was the first thing that I learned in social media is love on the people first. The people will come. And I think a lot of times what people do, they don't know or whatever, is they just post and pray and hope somebody likes it. And then when people don't, they're like, it doesn't work. Well, it really is, you didn't work. You didn't work to earn that person's like or comment, because
teachers.
Say what?
I said teachers. Oh my goodness. Okay. So yeah, go ahead.
No, so I'm saying that really is what I've learned to do, is engage with the people, engage and engage some more.
Yeah, so I love that. And especially when we're talking about diverse communities and people that aren't in our normal circle. So social media is such a way to expand and to get out there with different people, but loving on people that don't look like you and that don't have the same, background or the same type of beliefs and all of that is where people often get stuck. And in network marketing, we duplicate ourselves a lot of times. In direct sales and in businesses like that, we are thinking about who we are and how do we duplicate that exact same thing, but it keeps our network small sometimes. And so thinking about how do we love on and follow different creators, different people, and start to hear the language that they speak and all of that. So I love what you're saying, because that's what we always try to teach when we're thinking about how do we get out of our circle, our comfort zone, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So all you have to do in terms of really, if you're trying to diversify, when you go to people's pages, you just find something you actually like. Mm-hmm. And that shouldn't be hard, So if you are, a mom, like I'm my boys are teenagers, and I always say hashtag mama boys. Already there's a connection. If you have boys, you're my people. Like, I'm just like, you understand my language. I can tell you all these stories about boys. And so if I go to your page and I see you have boys, there's so much I can comment on, right? There's so much, if you posted that they threw, like my son threw wet paper on the bathroom wall at the school, right? And so I'm like, how many other moms have faced this? And I see your son does things like that. I'm like, oh my gosh, I can relate. And what happens is it's an immediate connection, and that person starts to look at your page, and then that person starts to say, I like this person too. And then it's a back and forth, and you build relationships.
Yeah, I love that. And so as you're thinking about this and as you're thinking about building those relationships, what's an example of how you actually adapted one of your business practices to make it more inclusive? So I know you do a lot with social media. So whether it be like marketing, sales, follow-up, onboarding, presentations, team meetings, what are some things that you've done to make sure that it's inclusive of different types of people?
So for me, I said, most people need to be inspired. And how I attract a different group of people. I was like, okay, most of us have a heart. It's beating. We're here. We have a pulse. We have a purpose. So I lead with motivation and inspiration and then business tips. Because if you can get somebody inspired, if you can make somebody feel good, and I do it through video most of the time. Although I go live and I teach mostly business skills when I'm going live, but all of my short form videos is targeted to help people understand that I've been there, people are there, and you can get out of it. So my hope is to shorten somebody else's learning curve. My hope is to breathe, life into someone. And so that usually catches all people's. Mm-hmm. And so I just look at it like, if I can inspire you to say, listen, I was here, now I'm here. Anybody loves a triumph story, right? And so all of my videos, short form videos, is really to capture their heart, not so much a certain type of person. And so that's how I've been able to attract all types of people, because I'm going for the heart, not necessarily the look. Does that make sense?
Yeah. And so as we're trying to think through building networks, what are some tips that you have? Let's say a business owner, their network is small. They feel stuck. They want to be a more inclusive networker so they can grow this diverse team of customers and team members. What are 3 tips that you could give us to help us to get out of that stuck place and really grow our network big? Yeah.
First of all, I definitely have to say is start creating content that for your ideal clients. So who do you want to help? So if you are a dog mom or whatever, you start putting out content to help dog moms. Mm-hmm. And so whether that's, my dog ate a healthy treat today. If that is, here's some local parks that you can go to have a dog day with other dogs. Your content should be to serve that type of person. Your hashtags should be also what type of hashtags would those people be using. Mm-hmm. And so you want to make sure your content is around the niche and helpful to your community. That's the first thing, because most people just share content and put out content and it's not getting the engagement. But if you're purposeful with who you're trying to attract with the content in your videos, your still pictures, your hashtags is around your audience. That's the first thing. Okay. And then the algorithm will start to work in your favor and start showing those people your content or other people your content because they know you are a dog lover. Right. And so the algorithm will start showing those people, oh, this person likes dogs. This person likes dogs. And you'll start showing up in the feed and then your followers will increase. Does that make sense? Yes, or
Yes, absolutely.
Second tip that I can tell you to drive conversation with people is engaging captions. If you are posting, you want to make sure that your caption or your topic is engaging. And you want to really, 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 if people comment on your stuff, you want to answer their question or recognize their comment with a question. So this is important, right? Because you want more people to see it. Now, if you don't know anything about social media, so if you have 1,000 friends on Facebook, let's just use this as an example. They only show 10% of the people. So when you first post, only 10% of the people are going to get it in their feed. It doesn't mean they saw it, right? It means it's up in their feed. So when they do open it, yours is in the feed. So if that's only 100 people and you have 1,000, the other people didn't see it yet. Okay. So in order for this to get to 200 people seeing it, you have to start engaging in the comments. Okay. So if someone says cute pic, then you say, yes, we had so much fun. You know, show me one of your cute pictures. That person to show you one of their cute pictures. Now, the algorithm says, oh, there are more interactions on this post. People must like it. And here's a little bonus is when you get a certain amount of comments, okay, it shows it to the next 10%. Now you got 200 people that have the potential to see your content. But it's all in the comments. Okay? That's the engagement that they're talking about. And the third thing that I can say is if you want to meet more people, just different types of people, is you go every single day and meet 10 to 20 new people yourself. You go like on their page and request their friendship. You go like on their Instagram and, you know, follow them. So every day making it a habit, especially if you have a small account, you make it a habit that I'm going to meet 10 to 20 new people myself who I would like in my circle. Based on their post, they look like they're my people. And so you do that. And what happens is they end up following you back or they end up friending you back. And now your audience is growing. So those are three things I would say if someone has a small account and they don't know what to do. Engagement, great topics, serving the people that you want in your audience, and obviously you taking the initiative to go meet people every day.
Yeah, I love that. And it's kind of what we would do if we were just meeting people in person, right? Because people try to make online stuff so hard, right? And so it's like, what would you do if you were in person? You would go and engage with people. You would talk to them. You would initiate conversations with people. You would think about different people that you want to talk to. You wouldn't just talk to people that look just like you. You would talk to anybody that was around you, right? And you would have cordial conversations. And so why do we make it so hard to do those types of things online? Right? So, I
often say it's different. I'm like, no, it seems actually easier. Online.
Exactly.
You're just texting. So yes,
exactly.
Your question, yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Obviously being intentional, being confident. And I think a lot of times when you're not confident, you don't do it. But in order for you to gain confidence, you have to start doing it.
Yeah, absolutely. And so for you, what's your next big project? How can it help the Inclusive Networker audience? I know you got all kind of stuff for the pretty people. So tell us a little bit about what you got next.
I say yes. Well, it's interesting. For me, is to get on more stages. And so I have had the opportunity, because I've gone live consistently, and so giving value so much in all of my lives, people now ask me to come and speak on stages. And so I went to Kentucky about 2 months ago, had an opportunity to speak there. And I have Baltimore coming up in DC, and I know New York at the top of the year. And so for me, it's getting on more stages and, sharing with people how to build their audience online, how to get more presence or become influencers. And so that way, they're just not, like I said, posting and praying. They're actually posting with profit and serving others. So that's my biggest project is, I want to get on TED Talk. So I want to do some major things. And I want to see the people. Online is great, but I want to also be on the stage so I can see the audience.
Awesome. And so are there things that the audience can plug into? Do you have like any types of programs or freebies or different things like that help people to build in their businesses? Or you say that you do coaching and all of that type of stuff. So anything that we could plug into with that as well?
Absolutely. So I have, of course, I call it the 3-day ride. And so the 3-day ride is amazing. It's 3 days with me, and it's so much information on basically how to find your ideal prospects, what to post, when to post, hacks, the algorithm, what that means. And so the 3-day ride is available at least, 2 or 3 times out the year. So that's something you can plug into. But I also have a 6-month program that I just created because people wanted more than just 3 days. And so my 6-month program is leveraging social media. And so my website is JerusherWiggins.com. And so that is available. So that's how I can help people if they want a little bit more one-on-one coaching. But I'm live almost every day on social media, on my business pages. And so they can find me every single day almost on social media, sharing actionable business tips, tools, hacks, apps, all the things to help you build any size business.
Yeah. So tell us where we can find you on social media. How do we get in touch with you?
Okay, perfect. And so on Facebook, it's my name. All of it is my name. Thank goodness. Jerusher, Jerusher. So if you're on Facebook, it's Jerusher Evans Wiggins. You can find me there. On Instagram, it's my name at Jerusher, Jerusher. On TikTok, it's Jerusher at Jerusher, Jerusher. And so, yes, I am definitely one of the people that you definitely want to brand and market yourself because people remember the name. And so the reason why we love Oprah, it wasn't the network she was on, it was her. And so she's the influencer. So we follow the name no matter where she goes. And so one of the things that I could tell you that has worked in my favor is marketing myself and branding myself has allowed me to have different doors open for opportunities.
Awesome. Well, thank you all so much for listening to this episode of The Inclusive Networker. And thank you to my fabulous guest, Jerusher Wiggins. You can find her information in the show notes, and we will see you on the next episode of The Inclusive Networker. See ya. Bye.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for listening to this episode of The Inclusive Networker. You can find out all the information for our fabulous guest today in the show notes. But don't forget to subscribe to the Inclusive Networker podcast and to look out for a new episode each week on YouTube and wherever you enjoy your podcast. This is your host, Dr. Raymona. And as always, remember, I see you and I'm cheering you on. And I dare you to defy limits. See you on the next episode of The Inclusive Networker.